Okay, you're live.
All right. Good evening, members of the Johor Bar. Welcome to the Johor Bar seminar on talk on practical experience and challenges of online hearing. Before that, I think today is officially the second day us returning to work. So wish you all the best. Hope your office has been cleaned up. It's safe enough for your staff to work, and some of us are still resting or waiting for time to clear. So take your time and enjoy returning back to the office. So the Johor Bar continuing with the exercise that has been started during the MCO period, so that to continue to keep the process of learning ongoing for lawyers, have been organizing a series of webinars. I think first of all, thank you to Johor Bar for organizing this. At least we have made use of our time during that period. So today's seminar is another webinar, is another in the series of webinars organized by the Johor Bar. As I said earlier, our guest today would be two guests from Osman Hashim and Co. I think both of them are very familiar to us, Azizi Muhammad Sarid and Ahmad Shagir, and Nurul Dalila Darmawi. Azizi, Nurul, welcome to the webinar. Both of you have actually gone into the history of the judicial administration in the country. I think somewhere, if when the record is written, you'll be rest assured that the name of Azizi, Nurul Dalila, and Osman Hashim and Co. will be there. Right? There is a new turn in the judiciary. It's a step in the right direction. It is a step into the digital world. As I say, it is a brave new world for members of the bar and for the courts, and you guys have led the path there. Basically, you have broken new grounds. So we will be discussing that today.
Okay.
Nurul, Azizi, let me just give a sort of background to the discussions to our members who have just joined in.
Sure.
On the 23rd of April 2020, the Court of Appeal, the courts actually made a history when the Court of Appeal conducted the first online hearing. It is actually historical for two reasons. Firstly, because it is the first online hearing. Secondly, because it is probably the first hearing that was broadcast live to the whole world. No more to within Malaysia, but to the whole world, because it was broadcast live on YouTube. Probably one of the first hearing also where there were online comments were also coming in for some time. All right. So in that sense, it is historical. That is the first time that you have conducted an online hearing, and it is also broadcast live. And this is a new development. I think the bar has been asking for courts to move towards the digital age. But certainly about 2 months ago, we didn't expect it to go this far, that there will actually be online hearing, that there will be broadcast live as well. Let me give a sort of background to that matter first before I ask Azizi to give some details on it. From what we understand, I actually went through the recording again last night in preparation for this. This is actually an appeal originating from a running down matter, and the issue involved is as to whether a stay of execution order should be allowed or not in that case. It's an appeal arising from a stay of execution. So maybe I will start off with Azizi first to give us a background of the case before we go into the subject of discussion. But before that, let me just perhaps as a reminder to set the parameters. We are not here to discuss as to whether the court should move into that direction or not, or on the legality of it, or we are not going to discuss about the case, right, or on what is our view insofar as the decision is concerned. I think there'll be a separate forum for that. Will be another day for that. Today's discussion is not for that purpose. What we actually want to know is we would like to find out from Azizi and Nurul what are the procedural aspects, what are the technical aspects that is required, and then what are their views insofar as advocacy is concerned when it comes to online hearing. Those are the kind of issues that we intend to explore today. As we go on, members may actually raise questions. You can see there's a link for chat and ask a question. You can put in your questions there. We will pick up questions as we go along. So I'll start off now. Azizi, perhaps you can start off by telling us briefly what was the appeal all about before we go on the technical part of it.
Basically, it's just an interlocutory application where we have filed it in the High Court of Muar at that point of time before Ya Arif Datuk Wira Manasfi. And the order was given to stay the payment on the balance of 50% of the judgment sum which was awarded to the plaintiffs in the Sessions Court of Batu Pahat. So by virtue of the granting of the order, not satisfied with that particular order, despite the fact that we have already paid about 50% of the money to the plaintiffs with 50% being deposited into the client's account to be held as stakeholder, they proceed to appeal to the quorum. So the Court of Appeal has initially fixed the matter on the for case management a week before that, if I'm not mistaken. But eventually, 2 weeks before that, so eventually what happened is that the appellant solicitor has written in to the registrar, to the TP, and requested her that the matter be heard online by virtue of the circular which has been passed before that, prior to that. So what happened is that I think that particular request was being taken seriously by the TP, who had already I think put it over to the CJ to be considered. So then after that, we have been getting the feedback from the court with the suggestion that the matter be fixed on the 23rd, which has been fixed on the 23rd, be maintained and be heard online at that point of time. So I think, so Dalilah was being contacted by the Timbalan Pendaftar. So I think then it start off from there. But initially it's just an online hearing, but eventually a couple of days before the scheduled 23rd of April, we got another call from the court requesting us to grant them a consent whether it can be made as a live broadcast or not. So,
so the court asked for the permission of the parties lah.
Yes. So that takes place about a couple of days before the trial, before the hearing actually. Yeah, there.
I see. I think you are right. I think I recall that when the MCO started, the court did issue a circular saying that urgent matters can be heard online. So your matter was a follow-up from there, is it?
Yes.
I see. Okay, Nurul, yang daripada maklumat yang saya perolehi, Nurul yang telah dipertanggungjawabkan berkenaan dengan isu-isu keperluan teknikal sebelum pendengaran tersebut dimulakan. Boleh tak Nurul boleh jelaskan apakah langkah-langkah teknikal yang perlu diambil di dalam menyediakan firma ataupun sistem di pejabat Nurul, pejabat Azizi untuk memudahkan pendengaran tersebut. Kerana saya percaya daripada visual yang kami semua nampak, Azizi dengan Nurul telah bertempat di pejabat. Betul? Tempat di pejabat. Jadi mungkin ada keperluan teknikal yang perlu disediakan. Mungkin Nurul boleh jelaskan perkara tersebut.
Okay. Actually pada hari yang kita dapat contacted by the plaintiff actually that they wanted to do an online hearing. So we decided that after a few discussion, we decided to proceed the online bicara. Since masa tu pun dah a few weeks before that, I did remember yang UK dah start dengan online bicara everything. So parties rasa why not we just proceed with online hearing since it's only an application for the stay. So plaintiff, which is the appellant, hantar email kepada pihak mahkamah, attachkan kepada CC kepada TP and also the registrar at that time. The TP is Puan Nur Salihah and also the registrar is Puan Noliza. So after we send an email attaching a letter saying that we agree with the hearing, we need to set up a Skype account. So bila dah ada account, yes, because bila dah ada Skype account, kita kena sediakan the ID of the Skype and also our phone number dalam surat tu. So bila kita dah hantar surat tu kepada TP and also registrar, masa tu Puan Nur Salihah contact I through WhatsApp. Sebab kita dah attach kita punya phone number. So dia, all the conversation, all the discussion, how to do with the technical aspect of the hearing, semua kita discuss through WhatsApp application. So bila dah dapat confirmation daripada mahkamah, because actually mahkamah pun sebenarnya terperanjat parties betul ke agree untuk proceed with the online hearing. Actually we need again letter saying that we agree to proceed with the online hearing. This is not about the live yang diorang buat. This is
Correct, yeah.
This is only for the online hearing. So for the online hearing, they need us to send again a letter saying that both of us consented to do the online hearing. So once bila dia dah hantar, and then I got a call daripada Puan juga, dia kata all the Arif are actually excited because everyone, both of
First
us
time,
parties first time nak buat online bicara because tak ramai yang nak buat. Ada certain things because kita dah pernah tak nak buat, but since this matter memang both parties agreed to do online and we already sent a email confirming that, so Arif macam excited. So after a few days, then kita kena buat test run a few days before that. The hearing was scheduled to be on the 23rd of April.
23rd April, yes.
3rd of April. So once we already upload the Skype application, the TP sent us a date for test run. So the test run for the online hearing was on the 17th of April. So on the 17th of April, we got an email from the TP side attaching a link to the joint meeting. We call it joint meeting and the Skype for business. So since at the first moment we only uploaded the Skype, so at that time of the test run, only we uploaded the business Skype for business.
Skype for business, I see.
Yes.
Sebelum ni adakah Azizi dengan Nurul pernah gunakan Skype ataupun firma Azizi, firma Osman Hashim & Co pernah menggunakan Skype dalam urusan seharian? Atau ini adalah kali pertama?
Well, basically we normally use the Skype to Skype, to use it in a personal basis lah. We don't use it formally to get in touch with each other in terms of our work-related matters. You see, so this is the first time that we are doing using Skype as a formal means in our line of work lah.
I see. Okay, there are several platforms. They have Google and then Zoom and then WebEx and all that. Is there any particular reason as to why you chose Skype for this hearing, or did the court also show a preference for Skype and not for Zoom? Because some actually prefer to use Zoom, some prefer to use WebEx. I'm just wondering, how did the choice of Skype come about? I understand from what Nurul said, it was suggested by your firm, and then it was picked up by the judiciary, or was it the judiciary that wanted Skype, proposed Skype first?
Okay, we just sent a letter attaching our ID Skype, but later on the court replied to the letter saying that they agree with the Skype. So to use Skype for the online hearing. So that's the way how we do it.
Now, when the hearing was taking place, when we went through the recording, of course there was a gap in between and all that. Azizi, when your hearing was taking place, was it smooth, or did you face any, connection problem, interruptions and all that?
So far as that is one of the reasons there, we opt to do it in the office because we really need the very stable line in order to avoid any interruption at that point of time. But as I experienced it on that day, I think during the initial part of it, there was some technical glitch where we can't hear the introduction, you see. But eventually, we've been connected back. And from that moment onwards, the line is superb. I don't see any hiccups at all. But the platform is very good, actually. So I don't see any obstacle during that proceedings. I was made to understand that during the proceeding, what happened was that the Dato' Aziza was not captured in the
the first 20 minutes.
Time. I think that technical glitch was actually not detected by the technician of the court at that point of time, I believe.
Yes.
But actually, I was made to understand she comes into the picture eventually after that, where the TP portion was being removed from the the online training that time.
Yeah,
But I think there is no hiccups at all as far as the line is concerned like that day.
So if we take it from there, Azizi, office you dekat office Azizi dekat Menara TJB.
TJB.
Right? Yeah. Jadi so connection from TJB, we can assume it is not a problem now. We can see we can conduct a hearing.
I don't see any problem with that.
All right. So all the other offices, law firms around that area, and even in those buildings, I think we can take it safely. It is safe to say that connection may not be a problem lah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say that definitely, because insofar as our area is concerned, I think it's like right in the center of the town. So I think it's stable lah, the line.
Okay. All right. Were there any additional costs that were incurred in order for you all, for the parties to conduct this hearing through online?
No.
In terms of the infrastructure?
I think there's none, but I'm not so sure about Dalila. I think everything was like, downloaded. I mean, the Skype itself is free. In fact, the Skype for business actually was required by court. We actually, on our part, if I'm not mistaken, correct me, Dalila, if I'm wrong, as far as we're concerned, we registered our Skype ID through the normal Skype. Then only the court will set up the Skype business because they want it to get it into a group, you see. So they want to grouping it, so they put it in Skype business. But so far as we are concerned, there is no additional cost incurred at the point of time.
There were no costs incurred?
No.
No, I mean, am I right to say that if you want to register for Skype, I think it's there's no cost, right? It's free, right?
It's free. Anyone can upload it. But the problem that we face on test run is that because I'm using MacBook, so that would be a problem. Because when I'm using Skype for business, I cannot enter into the book for the online hearing. So and if I can enter it with join the meeting, but they cannot hear me or cannot see me. So I choose to borrow my sister-in-law's laptop, normal laptop. Then it goes smoothly.
Yeah. Okay, jadi berdasarkan yang pengalaman kali pertama ni, jadi apa nasihat Azizi dan Nurul untuk firma-firma katakan di Johor Bahru yang tidak pernah menjalankan online hearing? Jadi apa cadangan kamu? Adakah kamu akan galakkan? Lepas tu itu pertama, keduanya dari segi teknikal, apakah persediaan yang sepatutnya firma-firma ni perlu sediakan sebagai basis untuk memulakan online hearing? Nurul, what do you think?
Okay,
that is the minimum that the firm should prepare with.
I think they just need to prepare a good laptop and then a good internet connection. That would be okay. Because all the time, if you say you don't know how to use the Skype or you do not know how to register for the Skype of business, anything, the IT man from the Court of Appeal will always stand by for you. So during the run for me, we have a few difficulties about how do we go with the video, the audio, and also how to get into Skype for business, because it's not like normal Skype. It's you need to join a meeting first, everything. So no worries, because the IT guy will contact you, and the TP also will assist on that. So no worries if you said you don't know how to use laptop or anything, no worries.
Jadi sepanjang perjalanan itu, sebelum proceeding bermula, jadi sepanjang perjalanan proceeding, adakah IT teams dia bersedia untuk memberikan backup atau sentiasa berhubungan dengan kedua-dua belah pihak?
Yes, because actually they are on standby, but they just mute themselves and they just turn off their video. So they
can always communicate. So they can always communicate with you.
Yes, because for example, you said at the beginning of the online hearing, you cannot see Arif Haji Aziza. But for us, we don't have any problem on that. We can see her clearly. So it's just a matter of how the IT guy produce the visual to the audience and to us. But for us, we don't have any problem at all.
I see. It was a good experience. I watched the first 40 minutes live on the 23rd of April. Then of course, then I was busy with something else, so I switched on. So yesterday I watched through the whole proceedings again. I thought only the beginning and towards the end there was some gap. Other than that, I think it was quite smooth, connection-wise.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that is insofar as the technical part of it. Jadi sekarang saya tanya berdasarkan dari segi persediaan untuk kes. Azizi dah practice saya rasa mungkin dah lebih daripada 20 tahun.
Yeah.
Right? Bila Azizi mula practice, saya rasa e-filing tak ada kot. You dengan saya, kita start sama-sama, e-filing memang tak pernah dengar. Right? We walk in, we do manual filing.
Yeah.
And then, correct? Then we move into e-filing. Right? It was a big shocker. Lepas tu mahkamah buat e-review. Right? Dan sekarang daripada e-review dia dah masuk online hearing pula.
Betul.
Right? Online hearing dia dah bagi dua. Dia kata live telecast sama ada video conferencing ataupun through email. Jadi dari segi persediaan kes, sejauh ni kita dah bincangkan mengenai persediaan dari segi teknikal dan latar belakang. Jadi dari segi persediaan kes, ada tak sebarang perubahan yang Azizi rasakan ataupun jangkakan yang berbeza daripada kaedah-kaedah persediaan kes yang biasa untuk sebagai bersedia?
As far as I'm concerned, untuk penyediaan kes daripada segi online ni, dia sama saja konsep dia untuk penyediaan kes masa kita buat dekat mahkamah terbuka in open court. It's a normal thing to do. The only differences yang I found, yang I jumpa pada hari bicara dan hari sebelum bicara ialah the difficulty in getting the judges to get through their, because these judges sebenarnya apa yang dia ada hanyalah a laptop dan juga komputer. And the iPad. Datuk Kamadin on that day is using and utilizing his handphone to control handphone to control, and then the iPad to be online. So maknanya pada hari itu dia orang menggunakan dua gadgets yang berbeza. Persediaan kita, because we are in our own office or with our own files, we have the benefit of having a hard copy with us at that point of time.
Yes.
But so we are quite okay with the paginating and pagination and everything or whatnot. But on their screen, I was made to understand by the TP a day before that their screen tu ada PDF number, you see. Apart from the pagination on the record rayuan, they have another number which appears automatically as a result of the scanning on the PDF. So the only thing that we need to yang sedikit perbezaan yang I nampak pada hari itu adalah untuk memastikan bahawa rujukan kepada rekod rayuan, especially on yang dirujukkan pada hakim. So hakim will go on to the same page as what we are talking about. You see? Penyediaan yang lain, that persediaan tu dah dibuat awal oleh TP, which is a day before that. So dalam satu hari sebelum tu, saya dengan Dalilah dah pun berbincang dan telah bagi satu listing on the documents yang kita nak guna dalam bicara tersebut, dalam online bicara tersebut. Jadi apa TP buat untuk membantu pihak-pihak dan membantu panel adalah bila dia akan keluarkan semua sekali dokumen-dokumen ni, exhibit yang tak kita rujuk ni, dia akan scan, dia akan masukkan dalam satu list asing. That's the reason je ya. Bila kita refer pada dokumen tersebut, dia orang senang saja, dia orang flip daripada list tu je.
I see.
Sediakan.
It's easier.
Yes, penyediaan lain saya rasa tak ada apa yang berbeza dengan persediaan yang ni sebab I think we have already filed in our written submissions. Yeah, we have filed in our written submissions. I think even our case laws authorities, bundle authorities, we have already scanned and put it into the system, and we have already courier down the hard copy as well. So I think the rest are the same thing, Jaya, except for that reference, because I tak tahu, mungkin kalau pendengaran secara online dibuat pada hari-hari biasa di mana hakim mempunyai akses kepada hard copy, mungkin penyediaan listing tu tak perlu.
Yeah.
Tapi disebabkan pada 23 hari bulan tu kita masih lagi dalam PKP, MCO, the hakim, all the panel, the three of them are working from home and they are actually at their house. That's the reason why we can hear a little bit of a sound of chirping of birds and everything and whatnot that day. Okay,
Including a cat.
Yeah,
including a cat. Yeah.
and the cat as well. So the rest is okay. I think penyediaan tak ada berbeza, yeah. It's the more or less.
Oh, I think
same.
I see. So it was actually more challenging for the judges because they didn't have the hard copy.
Exactly, on that day, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that as well from them.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Aziz, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, because it's heavy rain outside. I was just wondering that there's a slight problem with the connection.
Yeah.
I think so far we are all right.
Yeah.
So, continuing from there, we talk about the preparation. Okay, let's talk about the advocacy. We used to think that, look, in a normal hearing, you prepare the written submission, but oral advocacy is equally important because it is the oral advocacy that captures the judge's attention, and then you bring their attention into the written submission. But now there is a thinking, because I've been reading some materials, now there's a thinking that because of these online hearings, oral advocacy becomes less important, and then written submission becomes more important because judges may not have the attention span to handle devices and all that. What would be your view on that? Do you think that written submissions has become more important now because of online hearings?
Basically, Jaya, as far as I'm concerned, when the proceeding was takes place on the 23rd, the judges has already read the written submissions, no doubt, because the very moment it starts, so they already zoom into the issues already. Okay, but the oral submissions is equally important because especially when there are issues which need some clarification from the counsels attending to it. You see, as for example, if you notice, Dato' Azizah did ask me a few questions in respect what are the parties' intentions and everything. I think it is equally and it captured their mind and we still bring them back to the case per se rather than to rely on the written submission.
On the written submissions.
So what I'm saying here is that I don't see any problems as far as advocacy is concerned because we still need to convince them on certain part which is material to the case at that point of time.
Azizi, adakah Azizi akan cadangkan peguam-peguam untuk mengambil langkah mengendalikan kes secara online? Bukan apa pada tahap ini, sehingga hari ini sekarang masih ada peguam-peguam yang masih tidak nak buat online hearing. Saya sendiri ada kes di mana ada peguam the other side yang either bila saya setuju mereka tak setuju or they feel that is something very new. Jadi adakah daripada pandangan Azizi, adakah Azizi akan syorkan kepada peguam-peguam untuk pick up online hearing?
Well, basically kan, Jaya and everybody, because you have to bear in mind now as it stands, I think the CJ also acknowledged that we have few things to be done in respect of these online hearings, you see. We have to look into the Court of Judicature Act. We have to look into the Subordinate Court Act. We have to amend some provisions there, here and there.
The rules and all that,
The rules and everything and whatnot. But you have to bear in mind that in the event that you decide to go online with the court, okay, at this juncture, before the amendment of all these acts and rules, you have to first and foremost get your client's consent first.
Oh, that's important. Yeah,
That is important.
that's the most important.
That is the most important thing. So the very moment you get the client's consent, then everything should be smooth. As for example, what happened to me on that day was that when the proposal that 23rd of April to be made online, lucky me because my clients are working from home, so I contacted them and with their consent, I say yes to the proposal by my opponent, without which I dare not.
Yeah.
So that is the most important. If you ask me whether I would recommend online hearings, this is my view, my personal view. My personal view is that insofar as the online hearings is concerned, I think if you are going to go about it, you can agree or subject to your client's consent to that. For the interlocutory applications, which is quite straightforward, interlocutory appeals in the High Court, or that nature. But I don't see any lights at the end of the tunnel to proceed with the trial proper, with the to adduce the evidence from the witnesses. But if you ask me, I would say that any interlocutory applications or appeals to that matter should be okay, Jaya.
So you recommend it for appeals, but we still have a lot of things to be done in terms of trial, conducted trial.
A lot of things to be done, and basically people will ask me, this is the common question where people ask me, Jaya, whether we are going to be prejudiced or not.
Yeah.
Jaya, on that particular day, this is my one-time experience, so I can share it. As far as I'm concerned, whatever appear in our screen during the proceeding and that appears online streaming at that point of time is two different things, you see. Insofar as I am concerned, during that proceeding, I can see all three judges and I can see my opponents. You see?
I see.
So the gestures, whatever is not hidden, it's quite transparent. So I can even object to the to some submissions, but on that day we are all behaving ourselves because it's online streaming, okay. But I think after this they are not going to be making it online streaming. They might be just doing it between the parties, because online streaming is going to be like another issue like the other day until so many comments and everything or whatnot. People might not understand what we are doing in courts, you see.
Correct. Yeah.
You ask me, yes, for all those scope of proceedings, I would recommend if you have the consent of your clients, no problem at all.
Of the client,
Yes.
Thanks, Azizi.
Yeah.
Actually, you are right, because I also think that the court may not want to do a live streaming, but online hearing, I think all signs are that they're going to push this forward.
Yes.
Online hearing, and I've also heard about submissions taking through WhatsApp conferencing and video conferencing and all that. I think they are moving towards that direction.
Yeah.
Coming back to Nurul, Nurul, selepas you dah conduct proceeding perbicaraan melalui online ni, saya pasti ramai kawan-kawan yang mesti dah call dah tanya kan. Apa soalan yang paling banyak mereka tanya berkenaan dari segi, not the personal part, dari segi pengendalian prosedur secara online? Apa soalan-soalan yang kerap kali Nurul dengar bila lawyer tanya, bila Nurul bagi tahu bahawa Nurul telah conduct proceeding secara online?
Diorang actually tanya how to do about it, because diorang rasa because we don't know yet how long will be this MCO long. How long is it until this of May or no, or we don't know yet. So diorang most of it nak tahu sama ada diorang boleh buat online hearing or not and how to do it. So what we need to do it first. So macam yang first we need to send email ke apa ke. But I believe nowadays I got an email from Court of Appeal. In fact, nowadays they already send letters to email to e-filing system suggesting to hear the online on that day, on the stipulated date for the hearing. So they already allow you, they give you what email number that you need to send your submissions, and then you need to provide your ID, Skype number, and also the phone number. So it's much more easier nowadays. They already, the Court of Appeal dah hantar surat through your email, just click and reply to them. So dia akan bagi satu due date bila you nak kena reply and whether you agree or not. And I believe masa I mula-mula bincang, because actually that hearing happened on Thursday. I got a phone call from the EP and also the registrar on Tuesday night, a day before the actual hearing. asking me whether we are okay to make it live for everybody.
To make it live. Yeah.
Yes. So masa tu they just purpose of it is just to show to the public and all to the lawyers that we can do this online hearing. So that is the only time they said. But need to remember, kalau untuk live pun, even though kalau you tengok dekat in the beginning of the procedure, yang Arif tanya a few times actually, and then we need to write again the consent to make it live. So
Justice Kamardin wanted it on record.
He wanted it on record.
Yeah.
To record it, although we already written the night before that pagi.
The confirmation,
Yes. Malam tu I can hantar email lagi confirming that we agree to make it live. So one of my friends' concern is that whether their hearing will be live for their client to see or not. So no worries. That is one and only time we said. So and then if let's say they want to do it again, you need to give consent. So if you don't give your consent, it will never be online or live for everybody to see. So I think kalau nak tahu macam mana most of it, macam mana nak buat start, I think just reply to the email yang Court of Appeal bagi sekarang. Second one, if you takut online you boleh client you boleh tengok you and judge you, no worries, it won't. It's just between you and the judges.
Yeah, I think that's why Aziz will agree with me that it's actually two things. Number one is online hearing. Number two is the public streaming. I think public streaming may not happen anymore may not happen except in very rare situation.
Hopefully not.
But I think hopefully not. We all had the same problem, what do people say when they see us in action? Right? Okay, you don't want people judge us in a certain way because as what Aziz said earlier, I think the public may not understand many of the things that takes place in court. So certain things, they will not be able to understand. Now, Aziz, in terms of judicial temperament, right, and then the judges' conduct, mannerism, do you think there's a difference when you conduct hearing in open court and when you conduct this online hearing?
Okay, let's put it like this. You have to bear in mind, Jaya, the proceeding that I undergone on the 23rd of April was actually being broadcast live, you see. So obviously, if you ask me,
well behave lah.
We have to behave. I think myself, I'm behaving. I think the judges are behaving themselves well, you see. But
I think they behave well. Yeah, of course.
They behave well. But if we most likely, I'm not so sure. Most likely, if we take off the live streaming, maybe their conduct of the matter might be as in the open court as what we know them before this. So I think it makes a lot of difference. But insofar as the way they accept the submissions, the way they conduct themselves on that day, I think they've given ample chances to both parties to submit. Okay. I would say that Datuk Kamardin and the other two are very nice on that day. Nice as compared to the day. But I would say, Jaya, in my personal capacity, personal view, in the event that is not live, I think most likely it's going to be a little bit different, and the usual thing will happen lah.
I think many of us who have experienced, we know how it would have gone.
Exactly.
But I think the judges also wanted to give an idea to the public that the judiciary is ready to move on with technology.
Exactly.
And they also want to give an idea to the public how cases are conducted. I think in that sense, I think it is very nice of the judiciary, because I'm sure the judges also know when you do a live streaming, public will also passing judgment, not also on the lawyers, but also on the judiciary as well.
Exactly.
So I think the judiciary, to give credit, I think judiciary wanted to strike a balance. I think it was, they wanted to pass out. I think it's good to educate the public as how proceedings are conducted.
I think one of the...
Let me see. Sorry, go on.
I think one of the reason that we agree to the online and eventually after that they want the live streaming, because actually we feel that maybe we should accommodate to the CJ's intention to get the public know that yeah, we are serious in doing online, and we are serious of like, you know, working from home, you know, despite the fact that we are judiciary, that don't think that we can't do it, you see. So we are, I feel like the very moment they pose the question whether they can live stream that or not, I think I was quite obliged on that sense, because I think that will give some good impression to the judiciary as well in terms of what they are doing, even though the courthouse are closed actually at the point of time.
Okay, let's stretch that a bit. Katakan sekiranya mahkamah di Johor Bahru lah mencadangkan katakan kes-kes tertentu, kalau mahkamah di Johor Bahru cadangkan sama ada mahkamah tinggi ataupun mahkamah syariah atau magistrate untuk rayuan ataupun pendengaran permohonan dibuat secara online, adakah Azizi akan terima untuk berbuat demikian?
Macam saya cakap tadi dia, it depends on my clients and it depends on the nature of the case. Kalau I nampak bahawa kes tu adalah kes yang kita boleh buat macam ni kan, kita boleh buat online kan, I tak akan ada objection kalau mahkamah suggest on that. Tetapi kalau
supposing if it's a case that is document heavy, there's a lot of document references involved, would you recommend that? Not a trial, say an appeal or an application.
I can understand. Jaya, itu salah satu daripada concern yang being posed to me by all my seniors, the most senior than us, you know, because they are quite detailed. They are quite detailed in their submissions, you know. They need the attention of the judge tu sepenuhnya, 100%. Dia tak nak ada macam hiccup semacam ni. Kadang-kadang kita dengar, kadang-kadang tak dengar kan. Dia tak nak. Dia nak terus open court. Kalau nak kena tanya terus. So for me, if you ask me, I would say kalau lah kompleks sangat kes tu, better not. I'm not going to do it online. I'm not going to do it online. I'm going to go before the judge in open court and argue it proper.
Okay, I have a question. I think we have another 20 minutes. Let's take some of the questions. Ada satu soalan daripada Nur Aisyah. Soalan ini ditujukan kepada Azizi. What if client says, okay, can go on with the online hearing, but client wants to join, either to sit with us during the hearing or to be invited into the session? What would you do?
Okay.
Do you want me to repeat?
Yeah, never mind. I got it.
Aisyah, okay.
Aisyah, for your information, Aisyah, kita ada sedikit kekangan daripada segi who are allowed to be in the online punya proceeding tu. Jadi soalan Aisyah tu saya tak berapa nak pastikan, melainkan kita kena minta tolong pihak mahkamah untuk the IT people dekat mahkamah untuk kalau dibenarkan oleh hakim untuk dibawa masuk sekali dalam skrin tersebut. Tapi Aisyah, dia orang boleh control kita punya mode dekat dalam tu. Mungkin dia boleh letak kita sebagai observer sahaja without having any opportunity to interrupt into the proceeding. So I think that might be feasible, Aisyah, if the court allows that to take place. But you have to write to the court and request it from them, because the platform yang diorang guna ni kita tak ada control. Diorang yang akan ada control on this platform. So Aisyah, you can do that if you want.
Okay. Now I got another question here. Just before I take down the question, maybe in relation to what Aisyah asked just now, many may not would have heard that yesterday Puan Mabel from our Sessions Court, Puan Mabel actually delivered the decision through online, and during that proceedings, the client was present.
Okay.
So when Puan Mabel gave the judgment, the client was, I believe the client, from the picture, the client was seated in the house lah, all right, in front of his monitor as well, and the lawyer was there. So the decision was given in the presence of the client. So correct. So I suppose comes back like what Azizi has said. If the court agrees, then the client have to be, I suppose, to be connected to the proceedings, and the client will be ready with their system as well.
Yes.
Okay, this is a question from Fadil. I only know one Fadil in the whole of Johor. I hope that's that Fadil. Do you foresee any changes to how we draft our submissions in light of online hearings? And I will ask these questions to both Azizi and also Nurul, because I also want to hear Nurul's view on this, and both of you as two different practitioners. Do you foresee any changes to how we draft our submissions in light of online hearings? Azizi first.
Okay. If we because this online proceeding, Fadil, will only come into picture setakat ni lah, pada masa ni, at this point of time, by virtue of the suggestion from the court to us. Okay, they are the one who proposed the online hearing to go on in respect of these cases. Jadi pada pendapat saya, I would prepare my submission, my written submission macam biasa. I tak akan bezakan sebab masa I buat kes dekat Court of Appeal itu hari, apa yang I rujuk adalah sama macam dengan apa yang I rujuk di dalam if I'm in open court, you see. So in that instance, I would prepare my submission as if I'm going to present it in open court. Then there's the next question, Fadil. Somebody was asking me the other day, I can't recall who, asking me whether I did prepare some outline apa yang I nak cakap kalau I've been asked, you know. Well, basically, Fadil, I think some of the lawyers will do that, you know. They will anticipate what are the judges going to ask them. So they will prepare that and reply orally. If you see from the proceeding which I did with my opponent the other day, the solicitor for the appellant, I think most of the issues come from the ambit of the memorandum of rayuan. But there are some issues which, if you notice, I said to the panel that I would orally submit to reply. You see? Those are the things which are not in the submissions. In fact, it was given to me a day before the trial.
The hearing.
Yeah. Okay. So back to your question, I will prepare as if I'm preparing to conduct it in the open court.
Thanks, Azizi. Nurul, apa pendapat Nurul?
Okay, for me, you need to bear in mind a few things. First, before when you're fixing a hearing date, you already got a submission date. So you are only proceeding with an online hearing with a date that you have when to submit the submission, when to submit the standard submission, the common bundles, a few documents that you need to prepare beforehand before the actual hearing. The same goes like a normal Court of Appeals hearing. So a second thing, once you already fix an online hearing date, and if the court suggests to do it secara online, then you need to get consent from both parties. So if, let's say, both parties start agree, then you need to go back to the ordinary way, which is going to court.
Ordinary hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And argue it open court. So for me, you just need to prepare the submission normally.
Just like a normal hearing.
Yes, normal hearing. Because and you are going to refer it, and during the online hearing, actually, the proceeding is the same as the Court of Appeal. No difference. The difference is only we don't need to use our rope. That's all.
We are not rope, right?
Yes.
We are not rope. That actually one of the question, Azizi. One of the question I've got here, yes. Can the court impose a dress code on the parties?
Basically, Jaya. Basically, we have been informed and we have been reminded to properly dress. And obviously, I think that appearance is very formal appearance. We have been notified to put on our High Court attire without the robe.
I see.
Without the robe.
So you were attired on open court attire without the robe, whereas your other counsel was in the chambers attire. I remember.
I think he forgot about it.
He forgot about it.
Because actually, before the hearing started, we already text the TP what is our dress code for that day. So the TP replied that just a normal open court attire.
Open court, without the rope.
Yes,
You know,
without anything.
without the rope. So the dress code still apply. It is still a court proceeding.
It's still a court proceeding. Yeah, it is.
Just to share a few things, during the last 2 months, a lot of online hearings been taking place.
Yeah.
Even the US Supreme Court conducted hearings online. There was one particular case that the judge actually made a complaint because he said when he conducted the hearing, it's not the Supreme Court, one of the district court, when he conducted online hearing, one lawyer was actually seated dekat katil dia in the bed, on the bed. Right? Was seated on the bed.
Okay.
And another lawyer was in a very casual dress. That happened in US.
Okay.
And in India last week also happened the same thing, because all these things, it's the first time that all of us are doing online hearing, you see. The judge made a complaint. The judge made a complaint to the bar that when he conducted the online hearing, he was wearing open court robe and all that.
Yeah.
Whereas the lawyer who answered was wearing a t-shirt. In fact, they call it a banyan, It's called a banyan. It's not even a t-shirt, So to answer that question, I think we all agree it is still a court proceeding and you must be dressed attire appropriately.
Yes,
right?
yes, we should.
Only the medium is different.
Only
the medium is different.
Yeah.
Correct. I got one question here from SM Mariam. Dia kata, so in short, does it mean that online hearing is the secondary option and normal hearing is still better if we compare between the two? Alright? Depending on the complexity of the case. I think what Mariam means is, do you still say that online hearing should only be a second option? The first option should always go into a conventional hearing. Would you agree with that? That we keep online hearing only as a substitute, as an alternative?
Mariam, I think we all know that as far as Malaysia judicial legal system is concerned, we are still have that very strong binds with the English system. You see, we are more conservative in our approach. Even we are more. I mean, we would prefer to be quite conservative. In that sense, if you ask me, I've been doing it for 20 years. If you ask me, I would prefer it open court. I can spring from my chairs to objects. I can do everything which I can't do while I'm sitting here. So
correct.
If you ask me, I would prefer to have that in open court. This is my personal view. But the option given by the judiciary to conduct it online, I think at this juncture, is for them to assist us in getting our cases proceed during these MCO times. But if the court opt to have the online hearings for leave to appeals or certain simple things, as what they have been doing in the e-review, I don't think we're going to have a problem with that. Especially, you see, initially they introduced us to the e-filing. Then we are not present at the counter proper. We do not fill in our recipe which we used to fill in. In fact, during our study time, we don't even know what is the recipe all about. You know?
Yeah, I know.
When we come over, we fill in our recipe, or we know that this for the purpose of the filing. Then they waive that off. They introduce us to e-filing. Then that is a new system altogether for us. But then we still go for the case management and the mentions. But now they already waived that and they've come into the e-review. So if they are going to decide that we should come onto online, I don't see any problem with that. For the very simple matters, which does not, it's all contentious, but it's not that complex. Okay, Mariam?
Yeah. I think, like as you said, we cannot really decline online hearing at all times. Certain matters, it actually saves a lot of time doing it online rather than go to court directly. I've got one question here. How about recording the online hearing upon our client's request? Supposing if the client wants a recording of the proceedings.
Oh, yeah. I think
do you think we should agree to that?
Yeah, I think Dalila can answer that. I think they did it, right? Dalila? They recorded it.
For our matter, yes, they did. But since it was live, So our client didn't request any recording for that.
Yeah.
But I believe they will record everything, and if you want that recording, you can ask from the court. You can write in. And even if you already been contacted by the TP, you can just WhatsApp.
Jaya,
Yeah.
last week, I on the 28th, if I'm not mistaken, I did an online, another online proceeding before Ya Arif, Datuk Simi Chun, together.
I see.
That point, I think we are recording consent judgment, and Tuan Lee was assisting us on that. And I believe Ya Arif did mention that given an instructions to Tuan Lee to record the proceeding. So I believe all proceeding taken place online is being recorded for the purpose of the court's record.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just like our CRT lah. In other words.
It's like CRT, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, maybe this is the last question. Because it is already about 3 minutes past 4. If we do, Azizi, if we do online hearing at Magistrates Court, Sessions Court, or High Court, do you foresee for each hearing to have this IT guy or to be seated, or just depends on each other's equipment? I think what Aisha means is probably because in this particular proceeding that you conducted, there were IT team that was on standby. Do you anticipate that there will be an IT team on standby for every online proceedings in future? Or it will be left to the wisdom of the parties. In fact, if there's a snag in between, you have to do it.
I think the other day we were given the IP people because that is the first online and stream live hearings. You see, for your information, Aisha, I think the software that they requested us to have is actually a very the normal software, which is Skype, Zoom, which everybody can use it. I don't see they are going to assign any IT guy specifically for every and each case. Because I think like what I mentioned just now, when I did it with Ya Arif, Datuk Simi Chun the other day, last week, I think Tuan Lee was assisting us in recordings, you see. So most likely the interpreter might be able to assist to do the recordings and everything on that,
Yeah, either the interpreter, I suppose somebody else will be there lah.
Yes,
just to assist the judge,
just to get it recorded and everything, make it easy for the Ya Arif lah. I think that's going to be the case. Okay.
Okay, Nurul, Azizi, I think we have come towards the end of the program. Okay. Can I now invite maybe, what would be your advice just as a result of this discussion and from the experience that you have had, Azizi, if you have to give one advice to our members in respect of online hearing, what would be your advice?
Coming back to the one that I mentioned earlier, in light of the Court of Adjudication and the Subordinate Court Act has not been amended, everything or whatnot, my main concern is to always obtain your client's consent to conduct the online hearing of the case. So this is an important thing because they know that we are not going to be in court. If they want to see the proceeding, they will be in court. Then if they are in court, we are not there, then it's a problem then. So you just have to get them to give you the consent first.
Okay. Thanks, Azizi. Nurul, what would be your parting shot? If you have to give one advice to lawyers in respect of online hearing, what would be your advice?
My advice would be, although it's an online hearing, you just prepare yourself as a normal hearing, because either it's online or not, it's the same. The same procedure applies, the same principle of law applies, the same case you're handling. So if you wanted to opt for an online hearing, no worries, just do it as normal as you do when you're appearing in open court, and just proceed with it. It's just a matter of technical. It's a matter of where you argue about your case, and that's all. Nothing
Thanks,
much.
Nurul. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, we have come towards the end of the program. I think the take back from all this is that online hearing is here to stay. All right, I think it is a brave new world. I think the judiciary is moving towards that, and it's going to be a new experience. But from what we have heard from Azizi and Nurul Dalila, it is it is something that is manageable, something that we can pick up. It is not that difficult. Leaving aside the legal issues of it, it is something that should be appreciated. It is quite easy to be practiced. And of course, everything is subject to your client's consent. I think Azizi has emphasized that because that's important in view of some issues that has been raised in respect of online hearings. So on behalf of the Johor Bar, I would like to record our appreciation to Azizi and Nurul Dalila for sharing your experience on this platform. Not only that, I think we should also congratulate both of you for carrying the Johor Bar's flag, because the Johor Bar has gone on record. Our lawyers were amongst the first
From
to
Johor.
move into online hearing, all right? The Johor Bar has got many firsts, so this is another first. So congratulations again one more time to Azizi and Nurul for taking up the challenge, and also for telling us, look, it can be done, all right? And for giving us the courage and confidence to move forward on this online hearing. We basically now know that it cannot be that difficult, lah.
Yeah.
All right? I think that's what we take as that's what we can take back from this session. So thank you very much to Azizi and Nurul one more time. Thank you very much to members of Johor Bar who have tuned in. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.